So I'm out here. I went from my porch swing and I came to this lovely hammock that my husband set up yesterday. And I'm sitting here gazing at this massive tree in our backyard. And I was just reflecting on so many things. It's always amazing how God can use his creation to speak to us. And I'm staring at this massive tree and several things just come to me. The first thing is, I look at this massive tree, and as I'm laying in this hammock, it looks like it's reaching up towards heaven. And it makes me jealous. Jealous that that tree is almost touching heaven. And I would like to be that close. I would love to touch heaven. But then I'm reminded that although we may not be able to go as high as a tree, as high as a bird, as high as a rocket ship, we're able to touch heaven right here from this earth. We're able to feel the presence of God tangibly. We're able to experience heaven on earth. So we don't have to go as high as this tree. We don't have to go as high as the birds. We don't have to go as high as a rocket to experience heaven. And the other thing, a few things that came to me. I'm staring at this massive tree and I'm wondering how many winters, how many storms, how many things this tree has faced, and yet it stands firm. And then I'm reminded that it stands firm because its roots are deep. It reminds me that when we are deeply rooted in God, we can face so much adversity. We can face the storms of life, the winds of life. We can face the torrential downpours of life, and yet we can not only stand firm, but we can grow and flourish and grow exceedingly abundantly above any limitations that we think. I also look around my yard, my neighbor's yard, and there are so many different types of trees. And it reminds me that we're all so unique. There's a tree with flowers growing on it. There's a tree with jagged edged leaves. There's a tree with heart-shaped leaves. There's a pine tree. I mean, so many different kinds of trees. And it reminds me that we're all different, but yet we're all beautiful and unique and necessary. And each of these trees are different heights. They have different shapes. And it reminds me that we are all created differently and for a different purpose. And it reminds me that we are all growing in our own way and in our own time. Everyone's spiritual walk is not the same, but God doesn't call us to stay a stump either. He doesn't call us to stay small. He calls us to grow. But everyone's growth is at a different process, a different time, different speed. But it is just beautiful. It's beautiful that I can sit here in this hammock and be at peace and be at rest and just reflect in the glory of his goodness. Just reflect in his peace and creation. And it reminds me how grateful I am for a husband who is so handy and just determined and who loves us so much. I thought I loved my swing, but I love this hammock. This hammock gives me a view of so much beauty. So I encourage you guys, the next time any of you are over my house, to come sit in this hammock and gaze up at this beautiful tree and just take a moment to be in awe of our Creator. And just be reminded that as long as you're deeply rooted in Him, you can withstand anything. And that you're unique and you're beautiful and you'll grow in your own time. And just be reminded that you don't need to grow, you don't need to go so high as a tree or a rocket or a bird to touch heaven. Love you all. God bless.